Hello again, and welcome back to Wingot Play's Technological Journey. I noticed that at the end of the last episode, I had accidentally used storage upgrades, not void upgrades, for these three drawers. That said, the void upgrades would have actually caused a problem. As you can see, these are all full and without a void upgrade, but the electric rock breaker is still working because the electric rock breaker will create so long as there's space for that particular type, and it won't fill anything other than the same line. So with these full, the cobblestone is still being produced. Whereas with what I had intended to do of putting void upgrades in those three, even when the cobblestone filled up, this would have kept running because we would then have all of these slots empty, even though the cobblestone is full, and the cobblestone is the only thing that we really care about, at least at this stage, from that. So, because of that, we've got some spare storage upgrades that can just sit here for now, and we have a working cobblestone generator, which should be filling this up, and it's got a long way to go to get to the 16 stacks. Or is the 512 stacks? Whatever. There's got to be a lot of cobblestone that can fit in there when it is finished. Anyway, what we do want to do is we want to continue. If we take another look here at our clipboard, we want to continue with getting our clay line up and running. And for the clay line, we are going to need a forge hammer to turn the cobblestone into gravel, which is going to be two more of these primitive assemblies that we have made. I am wondering... Now, the thing is, we don't actually need any of these to be MV. The advanced electrolyzer itself needs to be MV. And so what I might do is I might make that nice and early with this MV that we've got. Grab a couple of silver for the wires, grab a copper cable. There we go, copper cable. Grab a MV machine hole, which I don't know if we have any left, to be completely honest. It looks like we don't. I'm going to need to craft another one of those, and a piece of reinforced glass, which I think we should still have a spare piece from earlier. Perfect. Now, so a advanced electrolyzer, we need an MV machine hole, so we're going to need another 9 aluminium plates, which we don't have enough aluminium for. So we need 9 aluminium plates, 2 wrought iron, 2 copper cable will be everything we need to get this running. But we do have a little bit of spare aluminium sitting there, and so can hopefully get this running. I do need 2 wrought iron. Here we go. And we want to make plates out of those wrought iron, and we want to make wires out of these silver. There we go, aluminium plates done. And what we want to do is throw those aluminium plates into the assembler, which I should generally check what the config is before I throw in materials, because that could have very easily wasted that material. And then we have our MV machine casing, our wrought iron plates, 1 aluminium plate, and those silver wires we don't need right now. So we want a MV machine hull, perfect. Then we have everything we need to make our advanced electrolyzer. Cool, which is the last step of the chain, because we need that one to turn the clay dust into aluminium dust. But all of the other steps can very much be LV. So let's take a look at them. So we want a forge hammer, which we should be able to make a LV tier forge hammer. And so let's have a quick look over here. Whoop. We want some more of these primitive processors, and we want some tin cables. Electric piston, which I don't think we've got any more of at the moment. So that's just a electric motor, which we also don't have. I'll have to craft some of those, I think, in just a second. We do have 3 LV machine holes, which is not going to be enough either. There's a third one. Okay, give me a second while I craft up some pistons and an anvil. And we should now have everything that we're going to need in order to make our LV Forge Hammer. Let's have a quick look here. LV Forge Hammer. Perfect. So if we grab that, we're going to need some item conduits as well, because we're going to need to take the output, of course, from the cobblestone drawer to feed into this. So step one is I can't jump high enough. So that's annoying. And I can't put them underneath the glass because I want to be able... Oh, come on. I want to be able to use their outputs. So that there should at least get us to the point where we... as soon as we put input into the forge hammer, we should be fine. Now, arguably, one thing I could do is I could just conjure it out of here. And how hard is it to make an item filter? Basic item filter, simple enough. Let's do that. So, how do we make a hopper is the question. Hopper is 5 iron plates and a chest. Well, we've got plenty of chests. Let's like do 10 of these and grab 50 iron. And then we throw those into here without a card. Iron plates. And what did I say? Iron plates and chests. Cool, so we'll let that run for a little bit, get us some hoppers, and then I'll make a little bit of paper as well while we're waiting. And there we go, 10 hoppers and plenty of paper means we should be able to get plenty of basic item filters. Let's put away this spare paper and then pop back into here and put a filter onto our input, which is going to be set to cobblestone. Perfect. Now, let's do brown input, brown extract. That is probably not accepting because it's an output port on the back. Let's try. Bang, bang, bang. Throw that back in there and change that to brown. There you go. It's now getting cobblestone and producing gravel. Perfect. So then, of course, we want a drawer to output that gravel into, and we're going to have a fair bit of outputs. So let's grab a basic drawer and a drawer controller, because some of these machines will have more than one output. But if we go here and throw a drawer there, it should be getting that gravel. Unless, if it can't output to a drawer, fine. I insert to black, extract on black. Let's see if that works. There you go. There's 12 gravel there. 13, 14, good. Now, why is it struggling so much with this steam turbine? Arguably, we're going to want to replace this power system, but for the time being, I would have thought a single machine should be working perfectly fine. We can probably free up these couple for the time being, because we're not actually making any I'm going to need fluid conduits. We're not actually making anything with the blast furnace there. So let's grab a couple, well, let's grab a bit of ender fluid conduits in case we need any more as well. And throw a couple of those there. Perfect. Now, we should have that, I would expect, will fix the power issue. Good. Now, the next step, of course, is we now have the advanced forge hammer and we're making gravel. Next step is making sand, which is made in a pulverizer or a macerator, as it's called at the basic tiers. In fact, I think it's called macerator the whole way up. So we want the LV macerator, not the HV or MV. So let's take a quick look at this. That is LV, couple of tin cable, 3 tin cable, a diamond, and the piston and motors that we've already crafted. So we've got plenty of tin cable. We're going to need a diamond, and we're going to need 2 of these. So if we do that, there's 2 macerators. Perfect. And pop back over here. In fact, destroy this whole window, and we can worry about fixing it later. Okay, now move that out of the way. We want our first macerator right here, and one thing we could actually do is we could put a output on the side here so that it automatically outputs into that machine. Let's give it a look. So steel wrench, let's see if we do that and set it to auto output. Will it output into here? Yes, it looks like it is. And we're getting our sand. Perfect. So then what I might do then is I might turn that off, grab all of that gravel. I don't have any sort of axe on me, I don't think. There we go. Give me the drawer. Perfect. Because what we might do is we might actually put the drawers down here and just put into all of them via a drawer controller later on. For the time being though, let's progress. So we've got sand, and let's quickly throw that away. And I don't think I need the drill on me, or the excavator for that matter. Perfect. So we've got sand. Now the next step is we want clay. Clay comes from water and sand in a mixer, and we of course want the LV mixer, not the MV. Let's take a look at that one. That is electric motor, tin rotor, 4 glass. Very easy. So we can easily grab 4 glass here, and we can grab 4 tin so that we can make our rotor. Now interesting. I don't know why I took out this rotor mold, to be honest. So that's not going to work. That gets to go into there. We need to extract that liquid tin, and then we can, of course, move that into our fluid solidifier and get our tin rotors. Perfect. There's 3. And then we will be basically done on making our basic mixer. Let's throw that there for the time being, and perfect. So tin rotor, and I think that should be everything we need. Oh, I'm out of LV machine holes. Give me a second while I craft up some more of those. Okay, and that's enough to at least get 1 LV machine hole. As soon as we get 1 more steel plate, I'm just going to quickly throw those in there and get started on the next one. But that means we should be able to make our mixer, and the mixer should be able to go right here. And then the last step is the mixer is going to need to be connected to our water line, which thankfully we grabbed this extra ender fluid conduit because we can. That's not going to work because it's an output port on the back, although it doesn't need to be an output port on the back, because probably we're going to be outputting. So we're outputting this sand into this mixer, and then we can output from the mixer odd. Oh, because I've not hit the auto output. There you go. So this will fill up with sand, and if we check here, the only thing we need is sand and a circuit. A circuit is easy to do. We just grab one of these. Perfect. And let's just double check the circuit needs to be set to 0. Perfect. So we can throw this circuit in there, and now we just need to supply it with water and it will start running. So we should be able to go like this, get rid of that because it doesn't need to connect there, and then here, water. Perfect, it's filling with water, it's producing water plus sand, producing clay. Very nice. Now, the next step is, of course, we need to macerate the clay because we need the clay dust, not the clay blocks. And we already made the spare macerator right there, which should start filling up with the clay and start making clay dust for us. Perfect. And then, of course, the very last step is that we need to electrolyze it. And if we're going to electrolyze, we can't connect to an LV line. So what we might do is move over this steam turbine to there. Here we go. So then we've at least got 2 steam turbines directly connecting into that line there. I wonder, actually, we can probably get this one in as well if I destroy that, and then we should be able to put the 3rd steam turbine just in there. Good, and so we've got 3 steam turbines. We can easily connect the fluid between them because we should be able to go like this on top with the light grey. Good, and then they're all full of steam. Perfect. Now we want to finally run some more copper cable around here where we're going to be putting the electrolyzer. It's probably going to be safest to run the copper cable on, yeah, like not put it there, but put it up here. Let's grab a chunk of copper cable though and see what we can do here. So copper cable, and we move that out of the way. Copper cable, if we bring this around, then we should be able to go like that. And finally, we can put the first thing that we made, the electrolyzer, in place there. And if we output from here, clay into the electrolyzer, and now we are electrolyzing clay. Very nice. Now, every stage here is only producing 1 output right up until the electrolyzer here, which is going to produce 4 different outputs. So what we could do is we could have drawers down here for basically the overflow of the output. So this cobblestone also produces gravel there. This macerator produces sand, which if we grab a little bit of that, we can throw that into there. This clay is backing up, and then this clay dust will back up as well, because this here is quite a slow process. So despite the fact that these are struggling with power and there's only sort of 1 for each, each clay block makes 4 clay dust, and 2, this is a slow process. Now, what we want to do is we want to take that aluminium, grab another blast furnace, put it in here, and run and smelt that aluminium. We may actually want access to the aluminium dust though. So what I might do is I might just put 4 more drawers underneath here, and then take the 4 different outputs and put them into those 4 drawers. Perfect. And then all we need to do is take all of the outputs for all of these machines and route them into these drawers, which probably the easiest way to do that will be to throw a drawer controller somewhere that they all have access to. Let's say, well, blast furnace could be right here, but in order to do that, the drawer controller would have to be there. And I don't think... I'm just wondering if there's a way to connect underneath. I could have an ugly cable or something, because we've of course got that power line running underneath there, which is making it more complex than it probably needs to be. For the time being, what I could do, just to get this up and running, is we could put the drawer controller here, and then we can put item conduits on all of these, and say this one here gets to input on black. Oh, what am I doing? Don't extract. We want to input on black. Good, those are all still working. And then if we grab a drawer key, which I believe I've got somewhere around. I thought I had a drawer key. Okay, drawer key is just a little bit of gold. Couple of gold, 1 gold nugget, and a template, which... And there we go, last template. Cool, drawer key. And we can lock all of these drawers. Perfect, so even if they empty out, they will still retain those contents. Now, this one here, we definitely want to extract everything from that. Good. This one here may as well extract because it's going to overflow. This one here... I'm just wondering so the auto output option, I wonder, does that take priority over leaving it in the inventory and coming out to... Yeah, okay. So what we could do is we could also set it to output, take out of the drawers and put into all of these machines, and then just have item filters on all of them, which is probably what I think I'm going to do. Give me a second while I set that up. Yep, there we go. So that, let's get rid of this rain. That is then clearing out these storages and only using them when there is basically no space in the inputs. This is not running because it is full of water. I think probably the easiest option is just going to be voiding that water, and we do actually have a couple of trash cans somewhere around that I was using before. I don't see them there. Did I put them in here? There we go. Liquid trash can. So let's quickly... So the liquid, none of these liquid lines connect to this electrolyzer. And so what we can do is just put a trash can up there, grab our 2 ender fluid conduits and set this to extract on red. And this one can then insert on red. Good, and then that's getting rid of that spare water, because we've got infinite water thanks to the end of wire. And we now have aluminium being produced passively. Very, very nice. We can throw that into our blast furnace here, which is going to fail because it doesn't have enough power. I think I'm going to have to make some more steam turbines just to get this running, but or alternatively I could grab some MV energy input hatches and we could move this blast furnace into there, where it would then be able to run straight off of our MV steam turbines, which we almost definitely are going to need more than just that one. But for the time being, it at least gets things running. Anyway, so we now have aluminium dust being produced. So advanced steam turbine. So we want more of these. Oops. And do we have any MV machine holes? That's probably the limitation. But that's what we're going to need the aluminium for. And I think we've only got about 7 aluminium ingots. So we are going to need 2 more aluminium ingots before we can make any more MV steam turbines, or any more MV blocks at all. So give me a moment while I see what we can do about getting this back online. Given we have stolen the steam turbines, I'm probably just going to have to make some more steam turbines. And there's the last few tin rotors coming through. I also made a few more medium bronze pipes. So hopefully we should have everything that we're going to need to make 3 of these steam turbines, which I'm then hoping will be sufficient to run our electric blast furnace if we just reconnect over here as well. Perfect. Now these are, of course, need to be light grey. 1, 2, 3. Those are all set correctly, and hopefully that will get this running. And then we can get some more aluminium and look at getting a blast furnace in here. That's right, I moved the draw controller because I thought that I was just being an idiot, but that's of course exactly where I was thinking that I would put the blast furnace. I'll have to consider whether we can arguably, what I could do is I could move this copper cable. Because if we do this here, then we can always sneak the item conduit around the back here, and then that is going to mean that I should be able to put the draw controller underneath there, where I was originally thinking I'd put it. Now, what we do need to do is get some cobblestone there quickly so it doesn't break, and draw controller can of course go right there. And then last step is we need to reconnect these item conduits. Let's see if we can connect this cleanly. I think the cleanest option is just going to be going straight along the back here. Perfect, and then of course we want to insert into black and extract on red. Good, at which point that should all be working nicely, and we've got it all sealed up and looking neat at the moment, at least as neat as it can be. And meanwhile we've got some aluminium being brought through on the other end, and now that we've got 9 we can make some more MV machine holes. And of course, now that we've got a clay line, we have access to infinite aluminium and will now be able to continue working on MV. If we take a quick look here, that's the clay line / aluminium ticked off, and if we move the blast furnace, then even the aluminium ingot processing will be automated as well. We also have access to now sodium, lithium, and silicon as required, and I think I'll eventually put void upgrades onto these. The rain is quite persistent, I've noticed, but yeah, I'll eventually put void upgrades onto these three so that they won't block the production of aluminium dust, because aluminium dust is the priority. If this emptied out and the others were full, it would just stop producing, so we need to fix that. In time, all of these others will fill up. We'll have a full drawer worth of clay dust. We're about halfway there. We'll have full drawer full of clay blocks. We'll have sand, and we'll have a gravel, which will then, of course, mean I can use that sand, gravel, and clay in order to make more conduit, because the item the conduit binder that's required to make item conduits and fluid conduits and all of that does require gravel, sand, and clay, the three things that we are making as the sort of primary resources, or I guess secondary resources, because the primary is the aluminium, is the thing that we're actually going for. But that's all doing nicely. We've got our clay line, happy with that, and we can continue moving on into MV in the future. That said, we are, of course, at that wrapping up point. We are out of time for this episode, so we are going to have to do all of that in a future episode. Thank you for watching. Stay happy and healthy, and I hope to see you in the next one.